And we are live. Hello, everyone. Welcome to this another early stream, well, daytime stream. You could be watching from anywhere around the country or the world or the galaxy. You could be watching this from anywhere and coming to you from the spaceship studios from a galaxy far, far away. We had a great stream yesterday. I enjoyed it very much, and here I am now, and we are going to switch over to the other window. Alright, and hello everybody, it is me, Alien Spaceship, and I am glad to be here. Yesterday we had a good reaction to Shannon's closing, and it was quite comical, and chat did excellent with that. Also, we're talking about the Oxford shooting case, and reviewing that again. And what I'm going to be doing now is playing the game for a little while and getting into some more other things. Alright. So, going to now launch the game as we usually do. Alright. Alright, so now it is launching now. Scared. Alright, so, and if the game didn't launch for some reason, we'll just go right into the other stuff. Alright, so let's see. I'll put this right here. And yeah, and now what the game is doing, it loaded successfully. Okay, that's great. Alright, here we go. Well, first of all, we have to switch over to the other window, like right here. And here we go. Alright, we are now in the island of Port Royal, so that's pretty cool. Alright. So yesterday, with the closing, which of course is a trial that happened last year, and it's just something that we were reviewing again because we were talking one of the other nights about Shannon, and Shannon was being extremely, like, talking about her kids and talking about herself, and she maybe was trying to personalize herself and talk about her own faults, which is a good thing, but her kids will see that she didn't really want them or like them, and she had problems with her kids. It was just very comical to watch, and we did the whole thing. And her chat was asking me about how long was it going to be. It was nearly 2 hours. It was an hour and 39 minutes, but it was a great reaction. And I think it's the longest reaction video I've done. Yeah, that's pretty much it. Because it's a stream, but it's technically like a video. Right, getting this. So you see, because my thing is leveled up so high. As a new pirate. Alright, and taking that. I always admire pirates that are just starting out, because it's a good game to try. Yep, so I think that she was so funny with all the stacks of books, stacks of papers that she had. And when you have all those stacks of books, and I'm calling them books, but they're really papers. it's just kind of like for an effect. It's more of an effect than it's really anything else. Because she's trying to like make a dramatic scene. And when you have a dramatic scene like that, she's trying to make a point, but it doesn't exactly work. Let's see. Does pirate want to be friends? Let's see. I see he was kind of having some issues, and I want to help him out. Let's see. Let's see, he wants to be friends. There's a new pirate that I was seeing that was trying to do, you know, his thing, because I like to help different, just like how on YouTube I help different people that are coming up, I like to help different pirates also. Okay. Alright, so, as I said, I don't really need to do this, but see, let's use the dagger. That one would probably be more suited for this one, because it's a lower level. Alright, see, this is good for the dagger skills because it's not too difficult for the dagger because it's a lower level dagger. Because my thing is higher, it's a higher level, but the dagger is a lower level dagger. So it does well against these lower leveled enemies. And yeah, it just, I've been here before, I think, but I don't know if I've been up here before. It's quite interesting. Okay. Alright. Now, Shannon didn't have a lot to work with the case that she was trying to defend. You know, because Crumbly's mother was a disgrace. You know, a complete disgrace. You know, doing that to her kid. Alright, this will be a good fight between this one with my dagger. Let's see. And throw some dirt in the face of the dude, and we're going to throw that. So it seems like this is a good match for the dagger that I have. Kind of speaking in third person for a moment, but I stopped myself. Okay, that's just what us aliens do. Okay, let's go here. The skill's not yet recharged. Okay. Oh, they're running pretty, you know, because usually they have to fall back. Oh, this one's going all the way that way. I didn't even know they could go that far. I didn't even know they could even go that far. That's crazy. I don't know if that's a glitch or something. I never seen them walk that far out from where they usually are. Alright, take some tonic. Take another one. Then take them out. Alright, nearly to level 8 on the dagger. That's good. I need to buy some more tonic to heal myself if there's a problem. Okay. So, in spite of all that, Shannon had these different cue cards that she was reading like a script from. As I said, she should have just been an actress, or you know, in some soap opera. That would have been good for her, because a lot of times we'll see with trials that people will they'll act like they're in a movie, which they kind of are in a movie in a way. That there's truth to that, but they act, you know, extremely different in those circumstances. and sometimes they don't always act as professional, which is a kind of cringe. Scared. All right, so I guess I'm gonna go sink some ships. Well, I have to go to one of those islands, or there's actually one here where I could go and buy some more tonic. Let's see, what do we have here? All right, so going to the store. Let's get some potions. Okay, we should be all set to go now. Alright, so now what we're going to do is we're going to go out this way. And there's another trial from Tampa, I think that's on. But there's no trials that I saw. But Diddy was on earlier, but besides that there's no other trials on. And when I got here, when I was able to get here, I did. Although usually on Friday we do like an evening stream. I decided just to do the earlier one. Okay, so I'm gonna start bracing. Okay. Alright, now we're hitting the nails in the wood. Alright, so we have this ship that is actually with the real ships. I think there are incidences when they did stuff like this, they would patch up holes, because Masters and Commanders, it was kind of like this when they're repairing the ship. So it's quite interesting to see how they repaired ships and dealt with this when they were on the seas. It had to be, because there's no backup plan. Like, it's not like a video game like this. There's no backup plan. If you go down, you go down. Well, that really goes for ships now, actually, but there's like a plan B sometimes with this. There was no plan B with this, and they had these wooden ships. You ever think about, like, if they tried to fight other ships with wood, and they're all wooden, it's quite incredible that they would do that. Because, well, that's all they had, but a wooden ship could catch fire. If a cannonball hits it, it could damage it. So it's quite incredible that they're able to withstand what they're able to withstand. Alright, now it's time for sawing. I'm scared. Okay, we are sawing some more. Alright. The father of the Crumbly father, he didn't. His trial, I don't think, was. He didn't have Shannon, so it wasn't as. He didn't have her there, so it wasn't as, like. It was a crazy trial, but it was a little bit different than the mother's trial, because that one she had, Shannon, and they were saying that, Shannon was getting paid and Shannon was just doing what she usually, just getting paid, and she goes home. And sometimes, maybe some attorneys, if they feel that somebody is guilty, they may not do the best job on purpose, possibly, in my opinion. when they may have a suspect that may have done something very bad. Or a client that did something really bad. And we have not seen any other trials with her there. The only, I guess there are some attorneys that have been in repeated trials. The only one I know of is Brian Steele, who's in YSL, which I enjoyed it very much. YSL, but he is now in the Diddy trial, and yeah, that is. I thought he would go to the Diddy trial. That Diddy would hire him because he, what's his name? Brian Steele defended Young Thug, and he probably thought he did a good job, and he wanted to, have him defend him too because he was good at what he did, and he was. This is a close-up of some of the ships. It's kind of turned around a little bit, and y'all can see. Yeah, a little bit. Now we're just going to kind of turn it this way. Go there. I just want to get another view of these ships right here. Let's see. Alright, so that is them going further out into the distance. Okay. Let's see if it hits it. It at least alerted them of something was going on. Let's see. Hello, Tasman. It's great to see you, buddy. I hope that you're doing well. Yesterday we did a stream on reviewing. We're like talking about the Crumbly shooting case, the Oxford shooting case again, and we're watching Shannon's closing, which was an older trial, but we were just reviewing that yesterday, and it went well. And then I noticed there wasn't any trials on, so I went live. And usually I do these Friday ones in the evening, but I wanted to do this early one. So yeah, so see if there was anybody that wanted to come in. They could if they wanted to. So I hope that you're doing well, Tasman. Right, and I hear you, and I'm glad that the trial, it's over with now, and I will say that with her, if she's gonna be on probation for a year, and hopefully, like with the drinking, it doesn't cause her to have any issues, and maybe hopefully she could have a good break from that. But as I said, I'm glad it's over with, and hopefully the rest of time is good for everybody. Yeah, I'm not complaining. Oh, the Crumblies, that is close for a home for me. Crazy case. Oh yeah, yeah. So yeah, but Karen Reed, I kept up with it from last year, and when we were watching it, last year, I was hoping it would end, but it didn't end. Where she wasn't there was no verdict for her, and then this time she had to go through it all over again, and then and everybody else, and then she was able to get the non-guilty. And I do believe that there is corruption with the police force over there. I don't know to what extent, but they, it would be a wake-up call, especially if they were doing something that wasn't good. Especially if whatever they were doing, it's been brought to the light. So, I, would hope for the justice and closure for John O'Keefe and his family, and whoever was responsible for that could be found out. Yeah. So with the Crumblies, yeah, and we were talking about it, and I watched we reacted to the entire closing of Shannon because we were talking about her the night before last, and oh, hello Abby, it's great to see you. Welcome. So with the Crumblies' mother, she did not care about her son at all when he was trying to ask for help. And I feel that although Shannon is supposed to defend her, and she's trying to do her best to be an attorney, but she also had moments where she was acting not professional, in my opinion. And of course, this is what they're supposed to do. She was doing a lot of gaslighting and not really being clear because Crumbly's mother did not care. She did not care about him, and just attending the horses and stuff. Yeah, I know many dislike Turtle Boy, but if it wasn't for him, KR would be locked up for life, in my opinion. Yeah, I think Turtle Boy, maybe. I think I've seen him before. Sometimes I think he could conduct himself differently, but I do believe that people have a right to do journalism and stuff like that. But it is what it is, and I hear what you're saying. And I remember he was talked about a lot. So yeah, it's good it's over with. And then they're doing the rock sign or the devil sign. Some people call it different things. And Karen Reed was thanking the people that supported her, and her fans were out there, and the crowd was going wild for her, and you know it was it. And as I said, I think in my opinion that she sometimes may have not drank responsibly, and she was found out to have not doing it responsibly, and hopefully that, as I said, with the probation, I think should help her with the drinking, the over drinking, where she doesn't like drink and drive. And for the future references, I hope that this everybody could just have a good rest of their lives from here on out. Something in my eye, but I'm okay. Yes, it's like his antics. Yeah, as well. Just glad that he brought awareness. Okay, understood, Tasman. And yeah, in anybody that believes in a cause they believe is right, it's good for people to speak their mind and make a difference. And I hear you, Tasman. Yeah, rock and roll, homie, bro. Yeah, rock and roll. Facts. Yeah, I'm glad that you're here too, bro. Yeah. So, and we have these naughty roach ships. I don't know. I'm calling them. They remind me of roaches, like when you're like on a wall. There's like three of them. Like that's what this reminds me of. Oh, they're gonna get the ship pretty good. Oh no, they missed. They missed me. Catch me if you can, ship. All right. Yeah. So, oh Sharon, it is a lovely to see you, Sharon. I hope that you are having a good afternoon or evening, whatever it is where you are. And it's great to have you here. Yeah. So yesterday we watched the Shannon's closing, and as I said, we're reviewing trials we already watched because it just they're so iconic. And just I remember one time Shannon wanted to delete herself. We were talking about that a couple of times, and she had tantrums in the courtroom, and it was just something really crazy to watch. And then as I said, I really enjoyed reacting to that yesterday, and y'all were great in chat. Because great commentary, and shout out to Law and Crime for their content. I appreciate them very much. Very educational. And as I said, just shows that like say with the ones from Columbine, their parents try to get them help, but they also weren't really paying much attention. But the other one, the Crumbly, they didn't care at all, and they buy their kid a pew pew, a gun, a firearm. It's just absolutely nuts to do that. And I'm thinking about also we could talk about some of the trial stuff, and we will be discussing some stuff with astronomy again, because I think that was something else that we talk about in this channel, and I know that it's something that Sharon thought was quite fascinating. So it was pretty cool. So Jane was in the chat yesterday, Sharon, and she said that she got to see Mars up close with her telescope. That was very fascinating. Yeah, the Crumblies. You know, when their kid did the school shooting, they ran away and hit an abandoned house with money. And they took his money, and he kept asking for help, and they didn't listen. You know, it's absolutely nuts. And I was talking about the Columbine one where Eric Harris, he was on some medicine that made him really aggressive, and he was going through some stuff, and they took the medicine off the market after what happened, and the medicine wasn't helping him. Obviously, some medicine just kind of can mess with you. When I was in school, they gave me some medicine to focus, and it just sometimes I just didn't say I feel right. It maybe kind of didn't feel right, so I didn't take it. I didn't want to go shoot up anything, but I didn't feel right about it, so I didn't take any medicine, but I did fine. And then someone else I knew got real aggressive when they took some of the medicine, and it's like, sometimes medicine can do more harm than good sometimes. Yeah, oof. Yeah, definitely. And, yeah, so I think that with the Crumblies, it was, and then her attorney, Jen's attorney, was cringe, very cringe. Now, she tried to personalize herself, and she is an attorney, and she has nothing really to work with, and she's doing her best. And I've learned from Capri Law and sometimes to view things from a defense perspective, and I do that sometimes with certain cases. And yes, the medicines can affect different people in different ways. And yeah, so I can understand like what G was also saying yesterday. Shout out to her that the attorney was trying to personalize herself and show her own flaws and things like that, and she said that would stick out to her as something admirable, trying to personalize herself. But the thing is that we all agree on is that, Shannon mentioning her kids and how she didn't really want them and they're aggravating, and that's going to traumatize them for life. That's some secondhand embarrassment right there. Yeah. Now, I think about with holding the parents accountable, I think could be a good repellent, because these shootings need to stop happening. It's unnecessary. There's other ways people can express themselves. Like, people can go on a live stream on YouTube or, something like that. So, and even on YouTube, anywhere you go, you're going to have haters and bullies and stuff, but it can be pretty bad, but it's good to express yourself in more constructive ways. Yeah, she went on forever. Yeah, it was an hour and 39 minutes. And chat was asking when it was over with. And it was getting later and later. But chat was very engaged. And I was going to sit there until it was over. But yeah, it was quite wild to watch. In my opinion, parents didn't want to be bothered with the son, cared more about the horses. Yes, Tasman, that is correct. Cared more about the horses. And that is just disgraceful to do that. My plunder. Yeah, so it's like what we're doing here. It's like, all these videos of these horses and taking care of them, but not the kid that's asking for help when they need attention. And also, it's almost like they want it to happen. And you can kind of tell that the psychopathic or sociopathic, whatever it is, inclination. Oh, Barry Morphew arrested for wife's murder finally. Wow. Breaking news. Breaking news. Scared. Yeah, caring more about horses than your own kid. That's so you could sell that the lack of empathy and compassion for their son and neglect. It runs in their family. Yeah, shout out to all of you in chat. I appreciate every single one of you for hanging out with us. All right, so this is Raven's Cove. It's the haunted island. Oh, if we played hockey, we'd have the cup. Ah, Dwayne, I missed you, Dwayne. I've been thinking about you, buddy. He says, "Hi, alien in chat. We can't stay. We're getting dressed for a date night. Oh, have a great time. I wanted to hit the like button. Sharon said hello to our internet grandson. Oh. Hi, Sharon, Curlin. Okay, chat. Great evening, everybody. Okay, Dwayne, it is great to see you and Sharon. Shout out to both of you, and I hope that you'll have a great date night. And thanks for keeping in touch. I really appreciate it. Yeah, so you could tell like this lack of empathy that they had for their son and neglect is just ridiculous. It's hard to believe that people will do stuff like that, but they do. So I appreciate people making a difference and calling this stuff out, and it brings awareness for parents or young people to seek out help. And if there's parents not listening, there's counselors and teachers and stuff, and different groups that can help people that don't feel like they have a voice, because people are not alone like they think they are. Because you'll be found, and I do think that, in my opinion, that religion does serve importance with faith and hope, but people don't have to be religious to believe in faith and hope. So people religious or not religious, I think having faith and hope that somehow the dots will connect in your future is the best way it could go. You could go. People could trust in karma, destiny, the universe, whatever they believe in. Having faith and hope is extremely important. Yeah, Tasman, have a great weekend to you, buddy. Cheers. Thank you for stopping by. I appreciate it. Now, it looks like Crazy Ned is not by his box. Oh, because it was supposed to be nighttime, but Crazy Ned, he needs to go hide back. Oh, maybe because it's daytime. Because Crazy Ned is not in his box anymore. He's out and about. Like, bro is nuts. But he went through a lot of trauma, and he went through a head trauma because he watched his whole island get destroyed. Now as I said, this is like the west coast of the game, or like California, because it's like they didn't do anything to help this place. I know it's just a game, but there's still bodies are hanging around, and it kind of reminds you of Harry Potter a little bit too. This specific section, yeah. So oh well, yeah. That is the sun going down. That's what that is. That's the sun going down. And over here we have, some skeleton examples. There's a constellation that I captured, and I'm going to try to figure out what it is exactly. That's what we're going to be doing also. And like what I'm going to be doing is reviewing different trials that we watched and just reacting to them again. We're going to do more of them. But yeah, as I said, it's a great, great chat. Yeah, see, this is an example of a skeleton. See, the body's still there. The skeleton, the person was deleted in their bed when they went and burned this place down, and it is so. Who knows how long that's been there? So yeah, they have a lot of cleaning up to do, and there's some food. Like in Hurricane Katrina, what they would do is they would put an X. They would put a line on the door then another line, which would be an. So first they go into a house like this that was under under a disaster, and they do in one line, and they put the division, the National Guard division, and the date, and then they put, when they're done, they put another X on the house to show that it was complete. If there was just one line, you remember that. Yeah. If there was just one line, it means that the church was not completed because they weren't able to go through the whole house because of debris and stuff. And underneath, you'd have either 0 or number of deleted people that were found, or alive people that were found. On the other side, they would talk about if there were animals, and sometimes they would put additional commentary on the walls. I remember when we came back, they spray painted a picture of a chicken on the wall. It looked kind of like I don't know. I was young. It looked like a turkey to me, but they were. She was, well, not she, but they were, and they were talking about feeding the chickens that, because we used to have wild chickens around. The wild chickens are still here. They're just further down the street. But back, like, before, we had wild chickens that used to just hang out. And when I was a kid, when I'd wake up, the chicken would wake me up in the morning, go cock-a-doodle-doo. Abby says a Tasman happy weekend, and also Abby wants to know how Sharon is doing, and she's here. She's busy with her daughter. Okay. Yeah, so shout out to all of you. And so that's how basically what they would do. They would have the X, and they would talk about that. So that's what we would do. So I would just put a line, go through here, and search it, and there's one deleted person here, so we'll just put like 1 DB, and there's no animals or anything, and put the Alien Pirate Division, searched it. Yeah, so that's what they would do, and then it like became a symbol of art, and, oh, we got Dookie in the chat. We got it's Dookie chat now. Scared. Hello, Moki. It's great to see you. All right. So, yeah, so they spray painted a chicken on the wall because they were feeding the chickens that were around. And they put a lot of commentary about the cats and stuff at my place with Katrina, but they were able to get rescued, and they were mostly okay. Like, most of them were okay. So, I remember when I came back, I'm like, what on earth happened here? And there was spray paint all over the wall. I'm like, well, what these people are doing? But I understood what they had to do. But, yeah, but on my grandparents' house, they wrote a whole, a novel on their wall of things. It was, so, but shout out to the National Guard and the first responders that came to help the people and animals. I'm glad that they did that. And so, but as I said, it was quite an apocalypse. That's what it looked like. It looked like a post-apocalyptic society. It was, but then it cleaned up very nicely. Then what happens is a lot of people, they paint over the spray paint that they did. But if you go back and like look very closely, you could still see it through the paint, which is pretty cool. It's kind of like a watermark, like, like with a dollar bill, you kind of like look at it and it has like a watermark, like you have like a picture of a president from the past, and it has like USA on it. That's kind of what it looks like. It's quite interesting. All right, so there's Crazy Ned. He's hiding behind his box because it's nighttime. My theory is that the attack must have happened at night. That's when Jolly Roger usually attacks the other islands. Now, as I said, one time we lost the volcano island. And when we lost the volcano island, the whole place looked like this. It was all like on fire, but they repaired it, but this place didn't repair anything. Yeah, and there's different ghouls and things like that on this island. And as I said before, we did the review on Shannon's closing, and it was quite crazy to watch. And we're gonna watch me get deleted by a phantom. There we go. Scared. Scared. Now gonna be locked up. Yeah, spooked. Yeah. Scared. Spooked. Okay. Yeah, so that's the phantom, and the moon is high, and they all come out. Is this a place I could go into? It's locked. Okay. Scared. Spooked. Can I go in here? It's locked. Alright, so this place just got burned to the ground right here. This used to be a house. It could have been Crazy Ned's house, but it's been burned. Yeah. And in here you have some ghosts. Y'all have seen before. You see, like, over there, like, up here, you have tons of, like, just clouds and just ambience because there's a hole right there. And then you go here, and you have this ghost. She's just hanging out. See, she's a good ghost. The other ghosts that are bad are red. I cursed the day I was forced to sue sales for Jolly Roger ships. Oh, wow. She sewed the sales for Jolly Roger ship. And then he came back and destroyed the island. Wow, that's terrible. Okay, and I like how they have ravens. Yeah, so that's the ghost. Something somber end for me. You hear that? He said somber end for me. Oh, before I could even be deleted, it just teleported me to the prison. To the jail, rather. Wow. Scared. I'm so scared, I'm shaking. Alright. So, I'm going to kick this down. Okay. You have some skeletons in these, too. They just didn't really pick them up. They just left them there. It's kind of like being inside an old pirate ship or something like that, definitely. Because the way these jails look. Yeah, alright, so there's the spook. How do you fight a ghost? Well, it would be good if there were multiple people. And they're just very powerful. They have an infinite... they're very powerful. So what would have to happen is there's a certain ability to fight them. Yeah. Yeah, ask that guy. Ask that guy. Yeah, I know exactly. Yeah, shout out to that guy. He's a very triggered. Yeah, he's just angry for no reason. He's like an angry coach. He's like the football coach from back in school. That's what he acted like when I remember I was on the sideline thing, and I was on the team, but I was there for a time. I was going to visit the game because my friends were there, like they were playing, and I just like was going to watch, and I decided to go help out because I'm always like wanting to be the handyman, and so I was there and watching the coach, and he was very angry, and the two coaches were very angry. at angry Timu bot. And they kept on trying to do their play like on the field, and